What is up, everyone? It's me again, Gamerlush, and I am on my last stretch. I'm halfway to level 60, and I want to do this story quest with you guys, just to do my commentary about the story, because the story is so good. And we got to take on Space Hitler and Space Pope, and so it's the last stretch for Tsubaki to take on Space Pope and Space Hitler. We're going to see. I'm probably sure it's not going to end with this last stretch, but guys, thank you so much for joining me, and as always, cheers! And game on. Well, not cheers. Well, we'll do the game on part at the end of the thing. You guys know how this thing goes. Cheers. I'm on the stretch with in Node We Trust. We use the elegant transport to travel to the Beta Quadrant. So we're going to head up here. I got my wizard hat on and I'm magically delicious. Okay, so we're going to go here. Press the pad. Let's see what's going on here. Keep hydrated, kids. Let's see what we got here. Spock. I mean, Bones. Or was it Scotty? Scotty, beam us down. Oh, Lord. Now, remember in Chrono Trigger, something like this happened and we traveled back in time. And it was the 20th anniversary of Chrono Trigger, guys. That's kind of a big thing for me. It's like, man, it's been 20 years since Chrono Trigger came out. That to me is amazing and just incredibly dates my old butt. I remember actually getting Chrono Trigger myself, actually running down I'll read this and I'll continue with my story if we have some downtime. According to my recording, beep beep boop, this conduct has last served approximately 5,014 years, 6 months, 11 days, 7 hours, and 13 minutes ago. It should function without mishaps. May this describe its miracle. Beep, boop, beep, 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 beep. Alright, so we're going to get some materia. We want spell speed. Alright, cool. So we're done with that. We're going to get chemical maintenance. The guidance node is already to take you through the Beta Quadrant. Bleep. Reassuming guidance to the Ethereal Chemical Research Facility. Please follow me. Beep boop beep. This sector, the Beta Quadrant, is home to laboratories which produce chemical life forms to both military and household applications. Beep boop beep. Our facilities have awarded 3-star certification for compliance with ASO 3001. Beep. And good behavior with creatures born here is guaranteed. Beep boop beep. Please be aware, however, that millennia of neglect may have had an adverse effect. Oops. Oops. Alright, looks like we're following him. We got another quest giver. I'm just doing the quests to the main story and leaving these quests for like kind of maybe like my secondary characters. Mojo's kind of tagging along with me. Thank you, buddy. He's probably like, hey, it's over here, dude. Because he's a good friend, and I need to get on my flying Bugatti. Whee! Bugatti. Is that a Medusa? Oh yeah, that's a lemur. It's a snake woman. Lamia. Wow. I'm really surprised I'm not aggressive. Never mind. So we're basically on a technologically advanced island. Well, I think. Oh wow, we got a crazy looking mantis here. It reminds me of. It's kind of crazy. So it does remind me of the Black Omen back in the Chrono Crusade, to where it's like it's very technologically advanced. Yeah, okay, and it's kind of just floating there. I remember picking up Chrono Trigger back in the day. When I first thought of picking up Chrono Trigger, the way the magazines portrayed it and how similar the characters looked on it, I thought it was a sequel, like a advert sequel to Secret of Mana, because if you look back on the main protagonists from Secret of Mana and Chrono Trigger, they look very similar. So, and even the main girl character from Secret of Mana looks a lot similar to Meryl in that sense. So I thought it was like wow, this is awesome. It's gonna be a sequel to Secret of Mana, which was one of my most favorite games ever. Okay, here we go. And so this is before the internet, guys. So you know, you had magazine clippings and articles to read from, to where fortunately nowadays you can just read like internet and everything's just leaked nowadays. But okay, I'll stop. Cut story. Get back to this story. Unable to activate matter conduit energy storage detected. Identity cause identified. Unauthorized siphoning of energy by chemical creatures. Location: the recombination lab of biomass. Recombination complex. Time is short. Let's split up and eliminate the culprit. Tsubaki, pray dispatch the creatures at the recombination labs. The rest of us shall sweep the incubation complex. Take care and return hither when you're done. Alright, so we're gonna... Wow. Really? Is that far? Ugh. Alright, get on my flying boot. Well, no, we're gonna... I don't know. We're gonna... You know, we're gonna jump on something else. Let's see what we got here. It gives me the flying Bugatti anyway, so I was destined to use a flying Bugatti. Alright, anyway, so going back, so I was like, oh, I was really psyched, and I thought it was going to be like a multiplayer action RPG game like that was. Granted, it was totally something different. So I was going on like a whim here just from a last game that I just totally loved at that point. So, here in, back in the day here in Aurora, which is right next to Denver here in Colorado, there's an army base that, because of course, being half Korean, half black, my dad, he, you know, traveled the globe and met my mother in Korea when he was stationed there. So he had to stay really close to, you know, army bases and military bases and all that sort. There was a military base that we had access to. So, you know, there was a BX and a PX. These are basically like general stores that are access to military people. And, you know, they're tax-free and all that stuff like that. And so that was kind of my place to go to for video games and stuff. We didn't, you know, I think we had the, oh shit, God, what was that the B name for that? It was before, like, it was basically software, etc. Uh-oh, here we go. At the time. What up, girl? And, so I rode, this was like, I think 2 miles away from the house. So I actually rode my bicycle on the day, the launch, because the magazine was able actually to give us the launch of the days. And you know, that's back then for those department stores, they actually kept up on their dates for game releases, which is kind of surprising back then. So I rode my bike. Usually we'd go there by car, and I would have my military ID, and you know, I'd ride by the checkpoint, and the guys kind of would smile. The guy smiled at me, and he's like, "What you doing?" It's like, "I'm gonna get a game." And I was like, "Yay, I'm so excited." And he kind of looked at me. He's like, "Okay, what's your ID?" So I showed him, and he's like, "All right, have fun." And he rolled back. He was a real nice guy. And there you go. And so I rode in, bought the game at the money I saved up for my allowance, and I came back, and the game blew my mind. It was like Chrono Trigger. God, how old was I back then? I'm not gonna tell you guys how old I am. But I was really young at that point, and the game, like, it was like, I was a little disappointed it wasn't like Secret of Mana, but you know what? I loved that game, and it was one of the few games that me and my sister actually spent time together and actually played together before she started to become a woman and stuff. And like, girls, you know, because back then girls are like, girls aren't supposed to play video games and shit. You know, we're still holding that whole gender stigma back then, to where like girls can't play games, and she was supposed to be like into like girly stuff and boys and shit like that, you know. And we had a really good time together as we played that. And since she was the oldest one, she had a big influence of my gameplay back then. So we'd always our main party was always Chrono at the time, because of course Chrono had to be forced to play. And you know, I'm just killing these chimeras and shit, and I'm not even really paying attention. These guys are siphoning energy, it appears. And she would always make me put Meryl and Luca in the party, because they were the girls in the group. And hilariously enough, they were probably like probably some of the best party members to have in a group. You know, as we kept going, I kept arguing with her. It's like, no, we need, because, you know, I was like those typical boys. It's like, girls are nah, like gross and stuff like that. And I would always insist that we bring Robo and Frog into a party. And, you know, like, seeing how, you know, Frog was a good healer back then, but, you know, he wasn't the best, because Meryl in the game was probably the best healer and buffer in the game. And once we got Alaya, the cave woman, in the group, it's like, it was pretty much, I kind of agree with her that Alaya, Meryl, and Chrono was basically kind of the best group to have in the game. And so we kind of stuck with that. And when, spoiler alert, for people who haven't played Chrono Trigger, this is the whole, hey guys, guess what? Darth Vader is Luke's father. Anyway, Chrono ends up dying in a good end of the story, and so you actually had a chance to not have Chrono in your party. So this was great for my sister. So she decides, like, well, shit, so we don't have to have a boy in it. Let's go have a whole full party girl team. And of course and hilariously enough, so she decides, like, let's put all the girls in the team. I'm like, come on, let's put a boy, at least someone here and there. So the first dungeon that you kind of have to face was Dalton. He was like, he kind of took over, and actually having a Alaya in the party was a good thing because she can still attack party members, and it was easier to get your stuff back from a lot of the for the party members. And it was, which was hilarious. It's like, damn, her sense of like just having girls in the team actually was a benefit for the party. So we did that, and we did. That was me and her. That was like one of the last games. Me and her actually end up finishing together as brother and sister before she went through that whole phase where it was like video games are stupid and they're for boys and stuff like that. That's why they're kind of my 3 top favorites: Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, and Final Fantasy VI, because those were the last games that we actually kind of played together as a, you know, brother and sister. We actually got along really well at those points because, well, Secret of Mana will always hold a place in my heart as my most favorite game ever because it had multiplayer and me and her can actually play together as brother and sister. And that's the fact that they're just really good games. But yeah, not the fact that Chrono Trigger is just such an awesome game. I'm talking about Chrono Trigger because it's Square Enix. This is Squaresoft back in the day, and I'm playing a Squaresoft game still, even though most of the majority of the games have really been disappointing to me. That there's still a flicker of hope because there's still a department somewhere in Square Enix that they still make good games, and they're not totally like, we're a corporation, we gotta think about making money, and they just totally lost their passion of just making games altogether. Because a lot of corporations nowadays have just lost their passion of making video games, and all they're really caring about is just making money. That's why Konami fell to the wayside. Look how Konami is. We're not gonna get a new. We're not gonna get a new good Silent Hill. We're not gonna get a new good Castlevania because one, they lost their way. They want to just make money. They think mobile games and pachinko machines are the way to go. And you know, it's sad to see one of the greatest companies that made such great games fall to the wayside. And you know, it's just like, I haven't really been able to talk about how these games really affected me until now recently, to where I I got a lot of dead time now, to where I'm kind of like just going through here. Actually, I'm trying to find my way back to the quest giver right now. And so that's why you'll see me a lot ranting about how salty I get with like Square Enix games, and besides from the whole news saying, hey, we're gonna remake Final Fantasy VII, the most boringest thing of the Square Enix announcement is the fact that they have a studio going back to old school RPGs, that they're actually even caring about that. When looking at the old E3 thing, they were like, oh man, that part was the most boringest part of Section 4 me. To me, that was actually one of the most excitingest things that Square Enix could actually go back and actually do. Open the studio, go back to your roots, go back. Why did you decide that for some reason that nobody likes old school Japanese JRPGs all of a sudden? When was that a thing? When the fuck was that a thing? You know, I'm just, you know, but the fact is like, hey, at least you're giving a try and making a studio to go back to that. I got it. So nowadays, if I want to get my old JRPG, I have one game I'm actually going to be doing my first shot with to see if it actually recaptures the old JRPG nostalgia back in my heart. But it's like, I can't get a really good old school JRPG unless I play a bunch of amateur games from people who make RPG Maker, and they have tons of that shit on Steam right now. Not that I'm hating on it, you know, and obviously there's a market for it because there's tons of people making old JRPGs because they grew up and love them. All right, let's go ahead and continue the story. Let me stop fucking ranting. Blip. Energy restored to the conduit. Please wait a moment while I activate it. Bloop, bloop, bloop. By the way, guys, cheers. Sorry about my ranting. I know you probably don't want to fucking hear me rant about bullshit. Cheers, guys. Yeah. Ooh. That's probably why I still love this MMO. It still kind of reminds me of the old times of good old JRPGs. That's why I get so squeamish when I see stuff so nostalgic. You saw my, you guys hopefully you guys watched my old nostalgia videos of Matoya and how squeamish and stupid I got about that. Because why is nostalgia all of a sudden a bad thing? I don't get it. I'm just like, okay, you only like this because of nostalgia. One, no. Secondly, if it's nostalgic and good, then you damn straight I'm gonna be squish. Alright, let's see here. Woo! Woo! Alright. So we're kind of just slowly making... Excuse me. We're slowly making our way to the... Whoa, okay. Oh, there's the battleship. Those are the bastards that shot down Shiva. You fucking bastards. I'm gonna get you, Space Pope and Space Hitler. I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Space Hitler. So, the Galanians managed to land. Repairs of the vessels appear to be well on their way. I doubt that they will leave anytime soon. However, nay, they will remain here as long as they strip the isle of all of its secrets. Whether or not they mean to linger, their presence here is now an unwelcome company. Unwelcome accomplishment. Complainants. Blah, blah. Well, I just broke that. Indeed, let's avoid confrontation unless absolutely needful. Even the fact that your character doesn't say anything is just really nice. You know, it's like going back. Even that reminds me of Chrono Trigger, how Chrono was kind of an avatar of your player, that he didn't say anything. Because, you know, it didn't necessarily convey your emotions at that time. So we're going to do critical hit rate. And the fact that they're, you know, this person's an avatar, so they have to remain silent, or they would say that they would force this kind of opinion that you're trying to convey at this point, which is, you know, not really, you know, it'd be not that nice as like, hey, here's a list of choices, stuff you can say, but then again, it still wouldn't capture what you really would, you know, kind of like to say. And it kind of, you know, it kind of gives that like humbling tone to your characters, like, you know what, no, you know what, I am the warrior of light, but, you know, I'm not a fucking asshole about it. You know, you're like, you know, really kind of silent, like, yeah, I am the warrior of light, you don't need to make a big deal out of it, I'm just here to kind of save the world. Anyway, alright, let me stop rambling. Okay, here we go. Okay, so close encounter of the Vit kind. Ha! Nice reference. Alright, here we go. Warning. Intruder detected in force in this quadrant. It is recommended that you avoid confrontation where possible. Be kindly reminded that, in accordance with the terms and conditions of use, you and your party assumes all risk of damage of injury, including death, that you may sustain in course of guidance. Please follow me to next conduit. It leads to Delta Quadrant, where the facility's greatest achievements are located. Pew! Beep boop bleep. Alright, let's go ahead and see where we jump on here. Got my flying Bugatti. Alright, ooh, where the fuck are we going? Okay, okay, we're going down here. I'm like, where? Oh, like, wow, you are far. Okay. Okay, 6th Legion Hippo Muckus. Can't even pronounce that shit. Fuck it. Not even. Alright, anyway, yeah, bought it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. The first concept of multiple endings came up to me, and just in that game alone, I'm pretty sure there was like other games that had multiple endings in it, and it's like, oh god, everyone says that Chrono Trigger was the first game that had multiple endings in it, even though it wasn't the first game that actually had multiple endings. This game actually had multiple endings. Well, guess what? It was the first game that, to me, that actually had multiple endings to it. So of course I'm like, multiple endings? Dude, I gotta play all of these. And I played Chrono Trigger over, I believe, 18 to 20 times in just itself alone. Alright, let's hear. Wait, something's afoot. Uh-oh. Space Vader! Everyone has their gun sword? Good. Check out my cool helmet.
The objective lies at the heart of the island. The third will remain to guard the ship, while the second patrols the perimeter and eliminates any threats. The first will come with me to secure the research facility.
Oh, good plan.
Let no man doubt the import of our mission. The Allagans found a means to capture icons alive, and their knowledge lies hid upon this isle.
Hell Space Littler.
But acquired, we would be able to prevent the beings from returning to plague us, thus ending the cycle of rebirth. I need not remind you that success will raise our legion high in the Emperor's regard. By the same token, his radiance does not tolerate failure. That is all.
Hell Space Hitler. Come. Space Vader demands it. Even though it's kind of contradictory because Vader's always in space, so.
So that is their purpose.
To think that the knowledge used to bind no less a being than Bahamut sleeps here.
Imprisoning a primal in such a manner would represent an effective means to halt the cycle of summoning, were it not for the grave and obvious risks.
Indeed. We need but refer to past experience, that of Bahamut's calamitous return, to see why this is not the solution we seek.
Held in duress, a primal will continue to nurse its hatred for mankind. And when it inevitably breaks free, its rage will be beyond quelling.
Whatever folly the Garleans mean to commit, They can wait. We must remain focused on our task.
Indeed, my bloody dragoon friend.
Yes, of course. It would not be polite to keep the Archbishop waiting.
That's right, we gotta deal with Space Pope. Space Pope! Alright, let's see here. So, we're gonna meet with the conduit here. Alright guys, I'm gonna cut it here. I know, thank you for listening to my rambling. Happy 20th anniversary to Chrono Trigger. Not the new Square Enix now, but the old Square Enix before it, before they got stupid and corrupt with greed and money, and they stopped making that's my true feeling about the new Square Enix. The wing of Final Fantasy XIV can stay fine because they're actually kind of, you know, staying within their realms, even though they're really kind of being wowish. But the rest of Square Enix can go fuck themselves. I'm sorry, I gotta be true about it. They can go fuck themselves right in their poop hole. Because from how I'm seeing the new Final Fantasy 15, I'm gonna fucking hate it. I know I am. If the new studio they're bringing up actually brings back JRPGs to their glory once again, I will renounce all the hatred I have for them, but I hope they don't go down the way of Konami or anything like that. I know I'm like, oh, old man Lush only likes JRPGs or turn-based RPGs. I'm sorry, but no, those last Final Fantasies were garbage. Yeah, they can go fuck themselves right in their ass. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you enjoyed your time and listening to rambling, guys, actually, you know what? Put your opinions about Square Enix, how it is, in the comments below. Do you agree with me? Are you totally like, no, that's stupid, Lush, you're being old and you need to get with the times? You put that in there. You won't be trolling. You're actually just putting your opinion, unless you're saying, Lush, you're stupid, Square Enix rocks, GG, lols, MLG. Don't put that in there. But guys, thank you so much, and I appreciate all of you done for me. Please like, subscribe, put your comments below of what we were talking about, what kind of was rambling off, if you agree or if you disagree. And as always, raise your glasses. Cheers. Happy 20th anniversary, Chrono Trigger. Cheer. Game on.